Hey and welcome, I'm Hammeh, and in this series we're discovering the lore, backstory and characters of Overwatch's heroes, including more detail through their in-game voice lines and interactions. Before any map starts and during the game on various triggers, Overwatch heroes chatter with and react to each other in some funny in-game voice interactions. These give us some great insights into hero character, interests and backstories. In this video we're looking at Junkrat's story, through his interactions with fellow heroes, or villains, and the world around him. An explosive, obsessed freak who lives to cause chaos and destruction, Junkrat is currently on the run with his partner in crime Roadhog, causing chaos around the world. Slightly radiation-tinged and unhinged from his time as a junker, Junkrat holds a valuable secret that bounty hunters and nefarious individuals are hunting him for. Whether we'll find out what it is in time remains to be seen. Firstly, we'll quickly run through Junkrat's story. The first Omnic crisis affected lives all around the world. When defunct, dismantled Omniums, massive factories of automated construction machines and self-improving software algorithms built by the Omnica Corporation, decided to wake themselves back up, they launched a military campaign against all of humanity. Australia wasn't spared. In the peace agreements following the crisis, government officials gifted the Australian Omnium and the surrounding area to the Omnics that nearly destroyed their country, hoping to establish a long-time peace accord. This arrangement permanently displaced a large number of the Outback's residents, a scattered collection of survivalists, solar farmers, and people who just wanted to be left alone. Furious over the loss of their homes, this group turned to violent rebellion. Events escalated until the rebels sabotaged the Omnium's fusion core, resulting in an explosion that destroyed the facility, irradiated the region, and littered the Outback with twisted metal and wreckage for kilometers around. Some people survived. Calling themselves the Junkers, they scavenged the husk of the Omnium and formed a lawless cutthroat society in its shadow. Junkrat was one of them. He eked out a living by reclaiming metal and components from the ruins. Like many others, he was affected by the lingering radiation. This touch of madness made him ideal for handling dangerous explosives, a love which he's turned into a bit of an obsession, it's safe to say. Junkrat would have just been another casualty of the war if he hadn't shot to notoriety when he discovered an extremely valuable secret in the bones of the Australian Omnium. Few know the nature of what he's found, but he was pursued by bounty hunters, gangs and opportunists wherever he went, until he struck a deal with the Junker enforcer Roadhog. Roadhog grudgingly bodyguards Junkrat in exchange for a 50-50 share of the spoils, probably the only reason he puts up with the explosive obsessive. Now, with Roadhog in tow, Junkrat has left the Outback and embarked upon an international crime spree, leaving nothing but havoc and bedlam in his wake. So far we've seen the pair in the UK and King's Row stealing the crown jewels, robbing in a vault in Dorado, Mexico, and even breaking into ice cream trucks in Paris and robbing arcade toys in what might be Hammeh, Japan. We also know that Junkrat and Roadhog have been to Sydney, as detailed in their comic Going Legit at some point. When what they thought was a legitimate job turned out to be a setup, they got an explosive revenge, with the presumed death of the CEO or a senior member of a company called Hyde Global, as well as destroying a building in Sydney's central business district. Even with a motto of no job too big, no score too small, is there any reason for this trail of destruction and mayhem? Does it have anything to do with the treasure that Junkrat's hiding, or are the two just, well, enjoying themselves? With this mad pair, you probably can't tell.
It's a perfect day for some mayhem.
As you might expect for a crazy explosive obsessive, Junkrat loves nothing more than talking about his favourite hobby, and that of course is blowing things up.
You look like the kind of guy who could use something blown up. It's hard to just sit around knowing there's someone out there that needs to be blown up. If at first you don't succeed, blow it up again. Oh, don't mind me, I was just taking 5. Definitely not thinking about blowing something up. No way. Definitely not. Okay, come on, maybe just a little something.
And when he's not talking about his vocation, Junkrat's doing his second favourite thing or things in the world. Those are cracking bad jokes and throwing insults.
I've got a leg up on the competition. But just one. Don't you come the raw prawn with me. Ah, aiming's overrated. Out of my face, you drongo!
While we're on the subject of bad jokes, Junkrat loves to mock just about anything and anyone. Stay tuned for a mini Junkrat quiz. Can you guess what Junkrat is taking the mick out of in each of these lines? I'll give the answers after each one.
Baby, I'm a firework!
That of course is Katy Perry with her Fireworks song.
And on that bombshell...
That of course is Top Gear, Jeremy Clarkson's old sign-off line at the end of every episode.
Now that's a knife.
The infamous knife scene in Crocodile Dundee, when they compare the size of their knives.
If I had a PhD, they'd call me Dr. Boom.
Of course that's Dr. Boom from Area 52, Netherstorm in World of Warcraft, and since known as Dr. Balance or Dr. 7 in Hearthstone.
Time is money, friends, and we're almost flat broke. Attack!
Time is money, friends, is a direct reference to goblins in World of Warcraft. They say it all the time when you click on them. Now, the last one of these is really impressive. Thanks to our guest voiceover for spotting this one. Where do you think this music is from, or how it's referring to Junkrat?
Dum 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 dum.
Now, I don't think that's in-game, but according to our guest voiceover, it's in V for Vendetta, and Hugo Weaving actually wears a Guy Fawkes mask throughout the film. This music is used in the final scene where the Houses of Parliament get blown up. Spoiler. Do of course remember that Junkrat's name is Jameson Fawkes, Guy Fawkes, blowing stuff up. Finally, this music is also used in some fireworks displays, and you can see fireworks with music. So, multiple different references there in that little bit of music. Very, very cool. Cheers to our guest voiceover for spotting that one. Junkrat and Roadhog, by knowing each other, don't have huge connections with the other cast of Overwatch at the moment, but that does not stop Junkrat from liberally chatting to, and in some cases, mocking a lot of them. As we know, Junkrat and Roadhog are literally as thick as thieves. Roadhog's in it for the money, guarding Junkrat for a half share of his treasure, and the two make quite the double act on some occasions. Junkrat has a very literal view of the pair's relationship sometimes.
You hook 'em, I'll cook 'em.
And when Roadhog asks Junkrat to stay out of trouble, Junkrat swears he will. Maybe Roadhog's the father figure in this team up.
I'll be on me best behaviour.
Apparently Roadhog comes out with the odd joke even, according to Junkrat.
You won't believe the joke old pigface over there told me the other day. Roadhog.
Ultimately though, we know Roadhog's a man of few words. When Junkrat sees an allied Roadhog get a kill on his team, he expresses his thanks.
I knew there was a reason I kept you around, and it wasn't the sparkling conversation.
Whatever barbs he throws Roadhog's way, Junkrat does care about the fate of his bodyguard. When a Roadhog gets killed on the same team as a Junkrat, you might be able to hear this line, I think.
Hey, I'm the only one who gets to kill the big lug.
And I've no idea when this line triggers, but it's kind of touching for Junkrat to say this to Roadhog, don't you think?
I can always count on you, mate.
Junkrat has a few interactions with May. Even if he's trying to be polite and make conversation, May doesn't really want to have anything to do with him.
I get cold just looking at you.
Then you should look somewhere else.
And when May criticises Junkrat, his usual wit comes to his defence. Take your own pun medicine, May.
You're just a no-good bully. How can you even look at yourself in the mirror?
That's cold.
As one of the faces of Overwatch, Tracer is a prime target for Junkrat's quips. Even her trademark catchphrase isn't safe.
Cheers, mate. The cavalry's here.
That's my line.
Now, Junkrat probably regrets his rudeness when his curiosity about explosives gets the better of him.
Think I could have a look at one of those bombs of yours?
Now, as we've seen from his bio, Junkrat's no fan of omnics, and I think this line triggers when he either gets hit or Discord orbed from an enemy Zenyatta. There's a couple of variations.
Piece of junk.
Junkrat even finds it funny when he sees one of himself.
He looks familiar. Hey, that's me.
And finally, I'm not sure of the trigger for this or if it's in-game, but it's kind of interesting to see how Junkrat sees himself anyway.
I beg your pardon, I consider myself a freedom fighter. A misunderstood one.
In the last of our interactions, there's a couple of interactions with other heroes around Junkrat's treasure. Now, I don't have the lines on me, but Hanzo and apparently Reaper both ask him about his treasure, with Hanzo saying you couldn't possibly keep it on your person, apparently. Junkrat has a couple of responses to the two different individuals. Here's one of them.
Where did you hide your treasure? You could hardly have it on your person.
Treasure? Sure, I don't know anything you're talking about.
When it comes to the world of Overwatch, we know that Junkrat and Roadhog from their crime spree are pretty well travelled since leaving the Outback, so naturally Junkrat's got a bunch to say on several maps. The tension between omnics and humans in King's Row strikes a chord with Junkrat. He's of course had tensions with omnics in his own life too. Here's what he says when he spawns on King's Row.
So we're delivering a bomb to scrap some bots, and I'm getting paid for it. My kind of job.
And equally, as we've seen in A Moment in Crime, the video about Junkrat and Roadhog, the two actually stole the crown jewels or definitely did some kind of heist here, and both of them will reminisce fondly about it in a couple of different ways.
Remember that time we stole the crown jewels? All hail King Jameson Fawkes the First! And, Duke Roadhog? What is your name anyways? God save the king!
Numbani, of course, is meant to be the city where omnics and humans live together in harmony, and Junkrat, naturally, is a little bit sceptical to say the least about this.
This place is the worst. Let's turn it into one big scrap heap.
Really no fan of omnics, as we can see several times. Dorado is quite closely linked to Junkrat and Roadhog. There's a whole bunch of evidence showing that they've robbed the bank. Their faces on the monitors here, for example, the bank heist map in the level that was also shown at BlizzCon 2015, I think, in the lore panel, and the sprays of Junkrat and Roadhog, if you're very quick, that you can see in Soldier 76's hero short on this wall. For my review of that short, check out the video on the channel, link below. Of course, when Junkrat returns to the scene of the crime, he does have a little reminisce and maybe wonders if he needs a little bit more liquid cash assets, shall we say.
Hey, me old tunnel! Might be time to make another withdrawal.
Junkrat's no fan of omnics, as we've seen in his comic and in other lines, so visiting the home of the Shambalian in Nepal is naturally not going to be to his liking at all. There's a couple of different lines associated with here when Junkrat spawns, and maybe another one I think as well.
If these bots want to go into the light, I'd be more than happy to help. Now this place makes me want to be an atheist.
Whatever his feelings towards omnics, Junkrat always defaults back to his trademark, entrepreneurship. He sees the business opportunities on the Temple of Anubis, sure enough, when you spawn in, as you should be able to hear here.
You think there's something worth stealing in that temple?
Junkrat's always appreciative of fellow craftsmen. When I say craftsmen, I mean people who can create chaos and destruction. And I think that this one may well be on Route 66 when he's looking at the wrecked track.
Wow, look at this! My hat's off to the architect of this fantastic destruction!
And finally for fun, not heard this, but perhaps it's when Junkrat passes one of the coffee shops in game. Has anyone heard this one?
Can you do a flat white? No? How about I flatten the place?
Thanks very much for tuning in to my hero voice line and story series. Check out the playlist linked here on the left for more videos like this of different heroes. If you like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, comment, share it on social, and let me know what you thought, what lines you enjoyed most, and any heroes you'd like to see covered next. I really appreciate hearing what you all think. Until next time, I've been Hammeh. Take it easy.